It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is three professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Josh. I'm joined by two other co-hosts. They are today, I would say, quite bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to participate in a podcast where we take listener questions and give them completely solid, ironclad answers that they can take to the bank and get a return on their investment for. The first of those additional co-hosts that I'd like to introduce is Caleb.
Thank you, and thank you for using my proper name, because I have done some thinking, some soul searching, and I've changed my name back.
So you went through the whole government rigmarole.
Yeah, the newspaper that I contacted to publish my name change, as is required by the government, they were unhappy with me.
They didn't like you.
They said, but didn't you just, it was sort of like I could tell they were unhappy. They weren't like aggressive.
Right.
Interesting.
Were they more disappointed?
They were sort of disappointed that I was kind of giving up on my new name.
I would have thought that any print publication would be excited to receive any amount of money for anything.
And that other co-host, Caleb, if you can just wait a darn second.
I would.
Yeah. Thank you. That other co-host is Gabe.
Hi, how's it going? Sorry,
Gabe,
I
what were you
spoke before
saying?
I was introduced.
No, it's okay.
I was just saying it's surprising to me that a print publication in today's climate would be disappointed to be receiving, because I assume you have to pay for the ad, right? You have to pay for the notice.
Well,
to go out.
I thought that what you did was you just told them to print a retraction.
I see.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
They were unhappy. Like, one of them was unhappy about having to print a retraction.
Right. Gotcha.
And, that's half price.
Yeah.
Because most of the text is already there. They just have to say, not this.
Yeah.
Not at the end.
Not this. Yeah, it's a big.
Not.
That's what I told them they could do. I was offering some suggestions.
You said if you could just take a page out of Wayne, what's his last name?
Gretzky? No, he's a
big.
His first name's Bruce.
He was. Isn't his quote?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Not.
Garth Algar. Why can I not remember Wayne's?
His last name is World.
We've got a lot to get to today, guys. Is there anything we need to deal with right up front here?
I wanted to mention something about, you used the phrase bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I understand how getting good sleep, being rested and energized could affect maybe the brightness of your eyes, right?
Yeah.
But does that, like, if you're a small rodent, if you don't have a good night of sleep, is your tail like less bushy? Or I guess rodents probably don't have bushy tails.
Depends on the rodent, because some of them have just scaly tails, like mice. And
what are squirrels?
Squirrels are rodents.
Are they? Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, but one of the fluffiest tails you can imagine, it's on a rabbit, and they're not exactly rodents, are they?
No,
I don't think they're rodents.
They're cats.
Right, yeah. There's just a strange cat. Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, I do relate to this, the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed thing, because if I get a good night's rest and I wake up, I can feel my eyes are bright, and I just have a huge, big butt, too. My butt gets huge if I get...
Your tail is so bushy.
It gets so huge if I get a good night's rest.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I can't even fit into my jeans.
When you wake up.
Sometimes them jeans is painted on.
Yeah. Somebody got a good night of sleep.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, as last week, there will be no kind of additional content here. We're just answering a question, and that's it. And all the other little tidbits that we used to scatter in there, they're not here. even if Gabe wrote something, he's not allowed to put it in the podcast.
And I didn't even do that.
And he didn't do it, so it doesn't even matter. But what you can do is there are a couple of special substacks that nobody took us up on last week. Nobody checked them out. That's okay. They're going to be in the description. They're going to be linked in the description. And yes, Caleb.
I do have to say, I have a decoy Substack.
Oh, okay.
That I realized this week.
Yeah.
That there are 2 Substacks
Caleb
for
has,
me.
Well, we'll link them both.
No, don't. The one is not a thing.
Yeah.
And it's simply because it was around the advent of when Apple was like, there's like 300 different ways to sign into something.
Yeah.
And I chose the wrong one time, and it made a new thing.
Yeah.
And then so like I have people on there, but that's the wrong one.
That's not right. Don't do that.
Go to the other one.
Go to the right one.
So and please don't tell us what the wrong one is. That'll just
I
be
won't
confusing.
even do
So
that.
just tell us what the right one is.
The right one is the letter C, the letter G, the letter R. I'm gonna stop saying the letter.
that's
I think we
That's
do
okay.
get it, yeah.
You could just spell it.
AHAMS.substack.com.
And that's C-grams, basically. It ends up being .substack. And mine is Stervenson, STERVENSON .substack.com. Hey, what the heck? Just go ahead and sign up. I think I put up like 5 days a week last week. I put stuff up, and a lot of them contained additional content like songs.
Yeah.
Like I think I put 3 songs up last week.
Yeah.
Amazing.
They're not good, but
No,
they're good. Well, and I have to
They're
actually
good.
take issue with something you said earlier, where
Oh.
you said nobody signed up.
Oh, no, that's true.
I signed
that's
up
true. That's
for
true.
Josh's.
For Josh's,
and I couldn't
yes.
find Caleb's
Well, we
because
should.
I searched.
Yeah.
I was searching high and low. I don't.
Did
I
you
don't
look
think I
in the
went to the
description
link.
of
I didn't go to
the
the link,
podcast?
so I
That's
did it.
okay.
I did it wrong. Learn from my mistake,
Yeah.
people. But learn from what I did right,
Yeah.
which was signing up for Josh's Substack,
Right.
and I'll report back next week about Caleb's Substack. I'm going to subscribe to both of them.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
okay.
I don't care.
it's gonna
One of
be
them
red letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them will not update. Yeah. There will be nothing new on
That's
there.
fine.
That's all I was gonna say.
Gotcha.
So
So yeah, that's really kind of ladies' choice.
It's just if you
Ladies'
like
choice.
to be on a list,
Yeah.
and there's
Right.
nothing
Yeah.
attached to it, positive or negative.
yeah.
right. If you
so-
like that.
If you like that, go check it out. Just being on a list. You can also be on a list on mine, but actually I set mine up. So and this is just an act of sheer hubris that is pretty tough for me to do. I set it up so that I can be paid.
I
for
noticed that.
content.
Mm-hmm.
I can be paid. It made me feel bad. I did it on one post and I felt bad, and I wished I hadn't done it, but there it is. And so yeah, go do that and let's get it going, right, guys? Let's
Yeah.
really get some momentum
Chug a chug a chug
with
Start
this
the train.
content.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that Gabe didn't like any of your posts. If he did sign up, maybe he viewed them,
Yeah,
but he didn't like any of Josh's.
viewed them.
I have liked every single one of
I don't know if
Josh's
that's
posts.
actually true, but you
There was one that I didn't because
it's
it
okay
required me to pay
for it. I think you could have used.
So there's something there, Josh.
Yeah, no, I'm
Caleb
totally aware.
found out he had to pay for it, and he did
There's
like
content. Yes.
If I could have could only read like half of the one that I had to pay for.
Yeah.
And if I could have half liked it,
Yeah. You would have.
so we could have talked to Substack about half liking.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get right on the horn with the folks at Substack and figure that out. Guys, we're 9 minutes in at this point, and most of
Lovely.
what we've done is talk about our failing Substacks.
Yes.
So I think it's time that we get to a question. It's one of the big 3. It's a question from Joy.
I know that the quality of my questions have kind of gone downhill since I got pregnant, and I don't see anything really indicating that they're going to improve. But I'm not worried about it because you guys are creative enough. I think you can take lame questions and still make something funny from them. So I was thinking, and this isn't like a trap question. It's not like some like smug lady with her arms crossed on the other side of this, like asking you this question to like make a point or anything. This is just a question. But if you were pregnant, how would you use pregnancy as an excuse for you to get out of things?
Joy has a great question. I take issue with her kind of the framing of her question, where she's like, the quality's gone downhill. I don't think that's acceptable or true in the slightest. But this is even if it were, this one would put her right back on top, I think.
It's great.
Definitely.
It's a great one. If we were pregnant, if any one of us were pregnant, what would we use that as an excuse to get out of?
Well, she said also that don't take this as like a smug lady with her arms crossed on the other side of this,
Right.
which I can only assume is a choo-choo train, judging by the sound in the background.
Right. Yeah.
There's a woman standing on the other side of the railroad tracks, and there's a choo-choo train coming, and she's got her arms crossed.
Yes.
She's looking at us and going, if you were pregnant, what would your excuse
on the wrong side of the tracks?
What would you get out of because you're pregnant? Yeah, on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering, am I on the wrong side of the tracks?
Right.
And what if I was on the other side of the tracks, meaning pregnant?
That's the question.
It would feel like like I was living on the wrong side of the tracks if that had happened to me.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you got pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the way this question makes me feel.
No?
No. I like when you said if you got pregnant.
It's not great.
It made me feel really weird. I don't like it.
Well, there's a lot of climate around this. This could have just been funny and fun forever, but nowadays with people actually thinking that men can be pregnant, now it feels weird.
Feels pretty well.
It feels
I would say
kind of weird
always
to talk about it.
I would say it always made me feel weird. It makes me feel like the time that I in the Dolaire's book of Norse myths. There's a myth about Loki. I don't remember the exact. One of you might remember more, but I just remember he has to lure a stallion away from probably Thor or something in some escapade, and he does so by turning into a female horse. And then he disappears for a period of months, and then apparently gives birth to a foal, and then
Sleipnir.
Is it Sleipnir?
I know, Sleipnir.
Yeah. So that's so. And I read that, and it made me feel real weird, and that's how I feel right now. So thanks, Joy.
Yeah. In that case, Loki used his pregnancy as an excuse for being a god for a while.
He did. He took a break from hanging out in Valhalla.
I'm just going to be a pregnant horse for a little bit.
Or it's not Val. It's Asgard, rather.
Asgard,
Valhalla. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's like he has to distract Odin or something. I don't know.
I think it is Odin.
It's Odin's horse. Maybe it's not Odin's horse.
I don't know. That
It's
sounds
some mythic horse.
Yeah.
But Sleipnir ends up.
I mean,
it's
he's not. It would be weird if that would be, to me, very, very strange if Odin was impregnating the female Loki.
No, it
horse.
wasn't.
Oh, okay,
it wasn't.
okay.
It was like to
not
distract his
Yeah,
horse
yeah.
so that he couldn't use his chariot
Yeah.
to come get him. Look, not a chariot, but they have. But that's what they. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll have to
This is going to
issue
be
some
some
corrections.
so everyone can know the true
Yeah.
Norse myth.
Yeah. Finally, yeah, they're really concerned with consistency and accuracy in that culture.
If I was going to use being pregnant as an excuse from anything, it would probably be draft dodging.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty
Yeah.
big one. I don't know if I'm really in that age bracket anymore that would be drafted.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how bad things are. But that's the circumstance that I would consider becoming pregnant
Yeah.
in order to dodge the draft.
So you would, yeah, that would put you in a situation where you'd start going, maybe it's about time
Listen,
for Gabe to get pregnant if I'm going to be drafted.
if that's at all a possibility,
Yeah.
then I might consider. That's the situation that I would consider it.
Right. Well, that's good because we're going to need some more guys. We're going to need some more people after this war.
Right.
Yep. It's a big war that's coming.
So even the men have to have children.
If we want to get, that's one thing that I think hasn't really come up as there's kind of some major obstacles in many countries. Their replacement rates are declining, so they're not having kind of the standard 2 children per 2 adults to actually replace them, and just think of all of the additional people that it's kind of a way of combining 2 social ills. Go the trans thing, and that it's really a way of, I think, spinning straw into gold.
Yes, and I think that's or maybe one other way I go is spinning humans into straw. Like, what is? Yeah. I've been actually. That's weird that she brought this up because I have been contemplating if ever science got to a point where a man could have a child, like for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well,
what would this be?
I think we're all evidence that men can have children. I'm a man who has children.
Yeah. Okay. I take your point there.
Yeah.
What I mean is, for men to become pregnant and birth a child.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
That's what I
guess
mean.
Context really does dictate your meaning there.
It does
kind of. Should have been on top of that.
It's okay, and I completely understand. But if that happened, even if you could get the process to go, what would the result be? Mm-hmm. Would it be a living human child?
I guess I feel
like, what would
lost.
The soul of that thing be?
I see. Yeah.
Now this thing that we've created through our hubris and scientific development and technological advancement, we've made this thing that should not be.
Yeah.
What is the composition of its soul?
Yeah.
It's a big question.
It's one. It's funny. It's not really the kind of question that we usually deal with here. It's kind of one for the philosophers.
Yeah, Joyce said she mentioned that we're so creative that we could take pretty much any question and make something funny out of it. But this one, I am not convinced that I'm that creative.
Maybe what it is if a guy has a baby, it's like A&W cheese curds.
Oh, well, you've seen the Cosby Show episode where the men have babies.
What? I haven't.
You haven't seen them? Well, and they have a 2-liter soda and a big sub in a boat. That's
good.
Yeah, that's Cosby Show.
That's good. It's one of the better things he's done.
Well, on a certain field, sure. That one also made me that episode made me feel real weird. I didn't like it.
No, yeah.
See, I understand you're feeling weird, but I'm also pretty jealous of the fact that women have.
You
babies.
have womb envy?
I do.
Yeah. Freud didn't really touch on that, did he?
No.
I don't know. But because it's such a, it's to be connected to someone in that way is so amazing.
Yeah. I know.
We never get that.
Rather than the feeling of complete alienation from your children that I always have. Not your children, my children.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're very close to my children.
He's like a mother to him.
You've kind of made up your mistakes with your kids. With my kids, you're like very doting and encouraging and
and I always have treats.
Right.
Constantly throwing little packages of goldfish, real goldfish, not the crackers.
Yes, real goldfish that we have to try to keep alive. Sometimes the job's already done for us. Yeah,
a goldfish you find will only survive so long in your pocket. They get rather warm and mushy.
Mushy, you have to keep putting water in your pocket if you're going to even try that much.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess probably the thing that I would use pregnancy as an excuse for would be all of the calcium being leached out of my body. I would my loss of bone density. I would go, well, it's just because I'm pregnant.
Because that's happening already.
That's already
and
happening.
You have no excuse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It would be my only excuse at that point.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're pregnant, it's just gonna happen. You got to supplement.
Yeah. I would just kind of point. My dentist is an encouraging guy. He wants me to forgive myself. And I think it would make it that much easier for me to do that. He would say, "Oh yeah, your teeth are sort of decaying and rotting, but it's because you're pregnant. That's natural."
When you get something out of it too,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
child,
Yeah.
and they have teeth,
Yeah.
you can maybe use some of that.
Well, and they actually discard they discard them pretty early on. So yeah, it seems like I could initiate some kind of trading situation with.
Yeah, and you could even do
with
it
my
indirectly.
child. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
a child, but you're left toothless, and you could have your child masticate everything for you
Yep.
There you go.
and pass it along.
Yep,
There
sort
you
of
go.
a reverse baby bird kind of.
Yeah, a reverse
Situation.
baby bird. That's
Yeah.
pretty common in the scientific world
Yeah.
Yeah.
to use that term.
The RBB?
Excuse me, Mr. Dentist. Dr. Dentist. Could you please put my child's teeth into my mouth?
And to make that a little more accurate, I call my doctor. His name is Dennis. I call him Dr. Dennis Dentist.
Please. Dr.
Yeah.
Dentist was my father.
Yeah, call me Mr.
Call me
Dr.
Mr. Dentist. So, I got one of those hand-me-down degrees. It's a family heirloom.
Yeah. You go on like Mercari, get a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that?
Secondhand. It's
Website.
kind of like Poshmark.
Kind of like eBay.
It is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mercari. Okay. Oh, like mercantile. I can see
Yeah.
some kind of derivation there. Interesting. I'll have to look that up.
For me,
Yeah, Caleb.
what I do, my kind of way
Mm-hmm.
for this question,
Yeah. Yeah.
The answer style.
I'm going to use pregnancy as an excuse to just eat and eat and
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
Whatever I want.
Yeah. Another thing I would do,
Whenever
and I
I
hope this
want.
doesn't step on what you're saying, Caleb.
No.
I hope this does not. But I do think it would be an excuse to be big and fat if I was pregnant.
Yeah, my thing is definitely going to just kind of let things go.
Yeah.
And even though I know I could push myself and I should for the health of the child.
Right.
Right. So that's where it gets kind of tricky.
Yeah.
That's pretty
does.
irresponsible.
It does, but what we're talking about is excuses.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't use excuses you don't need an excuse to do something responsible. What you're talking about was not serving your country.
Right.
Well, but that's mainly
And-
based on like any war that we get into. Really wouldn't be able to see how it's justified.
If you
Yeah,
could
I
really,
understand
that's
that,
true.
you
If
know?
it, yeah, and that is maybe an addendum that you could make is that if it was
just war,
if it was a just war, you would fight pregnant.
I'd fight pregnant.
Yeah, you would even fight pregnant.
Yep.
But wouldn't you feel bad even if it wasn't, if your brothers, the guys who could be your brothers in arms, went to fight and you were just at home pregnant?
I would feel
Wouldn't you
bad.
kind of feel bad?
I would feel bad that they hadn't thought of it too. I could have told them. I should have told them to become women and beget children.
We can beget children too.
But you know what I mean. Again, the context. Like, Caleb, pick a lane here. You're gonna roast Josh over
Josh's
that.
thing confused
No,
me.
I actually
Instead of
that's-
clarifying things, Josh's way confused me.
It really
Oh,
took
okay.
over.
Yeah.
It's kind of a parasitic idea. You've been incepted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is if we had to phrase everything in a way so that Caleb wasn't confused at any point. We'd be here for, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes instead of...
I would also...
I think we'd be here for every single hour of the day for the rest of our lives.
Well, you said it.
I would also, one thing I would do is I would make excuses about why I said something really offensive and or racist. And I would say, oh, I'm sorry. These are some thoughts I'm getting from my baby.
Yes.
That is, upon examination, I don't really feel that way. But I think some of my babies, my intensely racist baby's thoughts are getting into my bloodstream.
Right.
And it's just like the baby doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
They're not on the outside.
Once
they get out here, they'll learn some things and see the way things are.
Yeah.
I guess. It's like institutional racism of the body. Like biological racism.
Their experience is so limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so limited.
You'll notice that babies are frequently pretty like they're not interested in diversity at all.
No.
They've kind of fixated on mom. And that's it.
That's the thing is my baby's racist. Like I've had babies who are racist against me, their dad, right away.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They're not interested in the other at all.
No.
They're only interested in the mother.
The mother, not the other.
And that's just nature,
They're not interested in them other. They're interested in the mother.
Right. Just to phrase it slightly differently. For clarity's sake.
For just to make so you can remember.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I love remembering. And that's something I'll never forget.
I'd say this is a pregnant pause.
That's good. That's what I called my cat after she got knocked up.
I remember that. And I'm so glad I didn't forget.
Me too. I'm glad you didn't forget.
Yeah. And then when she had her baby, the kittens, not a baby. The kittens, when she had the kittens.
Baby cats.
Yeah, the baby cats. Well, yeah. Then you called her Mother Paws.
Yeah, I mean, mainly just went back to paws. I'm not her child. Her baby kitten. Baby cat.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry because I'm sorry I called your cat the wrong thing. Then when I came,
No, it's fine. She responds to Mother Paws.
Yeah, I was I did feel like when I was talking to your cat at your house, that I had to sort of emphasize the pause part when I referred to her, or else she didn't understand. If I said Mother Paws, she didn't respond.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. She actually doesn't understand any English.
Well, I beg to differ.
You've spoken in English to my cat and received indications that she understands.
Yes. I figured out me and your cat, Mother Paws.
Just pause. It's fine too.
Would hang out. I would come over.
Does she ever say, my father was Mother Paws?
Well, she doesn't speak English.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Okay,
So she never
doesn't say that.
Doesn't say that. But she has indicated as much on a Ouija board.
I think people don't take that opportunity often enough to sit down with your cat, get your paws and the cat's paws on the what are we going to call that slider indicator thing?
I'm
sure there's a name for it. Yeah,
a witch's eye.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
What I would use it for is this is why I have to get such big clothes. And I have to wear different clothes.
Nice.
Because I am
refresh.
I do like to get different kinds of like maternity.
Okay.
You've got this is a situation where you've got a shopping cart full and you've got your fingers crossed. You're like, if only I could get pregnant.
If I could get pregnant, I could wear these maternity pants. They look normal mostly, but if you look under,
But there's a panel.
ooh, there's a whole different thing. I go this way, I can wear 2 belts.
Vitally important. Double
Yeah,
belt.
that's all that I mean. Actually, is I would use my pregnancy as an excuse to wear 2 belts.
And okay, so it wasn't about having big clothes. Because I
Well,
know
it's-
that you're enthusiastic about sneaking snacks into the movie theater.
Yeah,
So I thought it might be something related to that.
that's like the cherry on top,
Yeah.
and that's what I love to sneak in maraschino cherries.
I
Just
would
go see the latest flick and just gobble down
It just-
maraschino cherries.
I would
come
use
back out of
it-
the theater and the ticket taker says, "Wow, your mouth got very red in the theater."
I'm pregnant, what can I say? See, I would use it.
The movie made my mouth red.
I think it would be interesting to come out of a movie and have the ticket taker notice you at all. It would be unprecedented.
Well,
much less to think. When that person went in, their mouth was less red than it is currently.
Well, it's hard for them to not notice me after I'm so hopped up on sugar and Red 40. I'm coming out. I'm actually literally bouncing off the walls, and I'm saying, "We enjoyed the movie, like you said. We enjoyed the movie, like you said. We enjoyed it."
Yeah.
And
And you think
then,
it's likely that person's first response would be, "Your mouth is really red."
they're just grasping for anything
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say
yeah,
in
yeah.
response.
Wow.
Yeah. Whoa, because my mouth is very much in their face. They could see. Whoa.
They're getting a lot of mouth colored data.
My gaping
Yeah.
crimson maw.
And they're like, who do I look like? Mr. Dr. Dentist to you?
Are there any other things that we would? I was trying to think of some things that maybe I'm already looking for an excuse for, to see if there's kind of an opportunity there to use pregnancy as an excuse. I guess,
getting better seats.
yeah, you're already trying to get better seats in what situation?
Waiting for my doctor's appointment for checking on my pregnancy.
You would assume that
No.
they'd all be equal.
Kind of
like,
equal.
Pretty much the same seat.
Yeah, there's just kind of
Yeah, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
You go there and you're like, "Well, I'm more pregnant than you," so
Yeah. I mean, you're like, where's the seat for non-pregnant people? And he just points to the door.
yeah,
It's like,
right. Get out of here. You're not pregnant. Get out of here.
get the heck out of here.
Like, well, when you point one finger, there's 3 pointing right back at you, Mr.
Yeah.
Doctor. You're not pregnant either. Get out. Do this examination remotely. Follow your own rules, Mr.
Yeah.
Doctor.
you pee in this cup.
Yeah, let's see what's up with you. Huh?
Let's see if you're pregnant.
We haven't even seen if you're pregnant. Don't leave yet.
What would you think about that? Huh? What if you were pregnant?
What
These-
kind of excuses would a doctor make if they were pregnant?
Pregnancy brain.
It doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter how red my mouth is, Mr. Doctor. We don't even know if you're pregnant.
If you're pregnant, you must stop eating so many maraschino cherries.
Yeah, that's just kind of, that's good. That's a good healthy practice for your baby.
Is that true?
I mean, just sugar.
I usually
You
get my
know.
nutritional information from the back of the bottle of the maraschino cherries. It says red 40. I say, okay, red, and then 40. So got to eat 40.
To be in the red.
To be in the black,
Yeah.
you've got to eat 40.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Red
that's right. You want to be
reds.
in the black.
Yeah.
But yeah, pregnancy brain would be a big one.
Yeah, for a doctor.
Definitely for a doctor. But for me personally as well. I mean, like
Oh.
all the mistakes I make in a day, just being
Yeah.
able to be like, I'm going to chalk that up
Yeah.
to pregnancy brain.
Yeah. I think it would be a good excuse to use the women's bathroom.
Good point.
But I don't. I feel like we've been operating in the like men can get pregnant realm. So I would say you might still run into some problems.
I meant more in the pregnancy brain category.
Oh, I see. I see.
Like I'm like here I am.
Easy
Like
mistake.
I
forgot I'm a man because I'm pregnant.
Right.
Thanks so much for listening to Advanced Answering Techniques. If you'd like us to treat your questions this way, you can send an email with an audio clip of some kind, about a minute in length, to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. We covet those. We've got some good questions coming up. I've been looking at some of the questions hanging out there in the wings. It's really approaching. There's an up and comer, somebody who's submitting. He's kind of a dark horse, coming from behind up the flank.
Like that one horse with Loki.
Yeah, you did see this horse coming.
Anything else we need to deal with right at the end? Do we feel like we have dealt with Joy's question pretty optimally?
I wanted to clarify. You said we covet their questions, and that's just kind of a turn of phrase. It's not a sin that we're actively committing.
It's a good point of clarification.
No, it's. I wouldn't. If it was a sin, I wouldn't admit it.
Oh, so you'd lie?
I would never admit that either. I'm not saying I would lie. I'm saying how would you ever know? I wouldn't. I don't think podcasts are a place for us to tell secrets and be honest.
Okay. And honestly, lying is not a sin.
Yeah,
it's not.
Right. I know. Bearing false witness is.
Right. Oh, I was gonna say how else do you go to sleep?
Any other commandments that we'd like to deal with right here at the end?
I was trying to figure out how to keep this Sabbath day because I am a Christian and not a Jew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do the Sabbath.
Yeah. Honor your father as your mother.
Yeah.
Right.
Feels like one that might be applicable today.
In this case.
Right.
It gets kind of tricky in there.
Treating dad like mom. Okay.
Hang on.
Mom's pregnant. Dad's
Dad
pregnant.
is too. Mommy and Daddy are both pregnant.
Maybe that's why Dad keeps saying we are expecting.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.